Hey, I'm 100. Hello, everyone. It's Lori. Welcome to Live with Lori. I have good things in store for tonight. As always, tonight we're talking about being the change. So change has been a lot on my mind lately, and there's a reason for that. And magical things are absolutely unfolding in my world, and I want to share with you some great things tonight. But I want to touch on being the change. And as I kind of like talked about above, or I stated above, we we are, holy smokes, we are all light workers. And if you want to change your world, you have to start with yourself. And that even means, changing the world that you call your home, or the world that you call your community, or the world that you call your work, or the world that you call your city, etc., etc. Expand, 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 expand. So I want to touch on this being the change, because I really think there are like three energies that we can start to embrace if we want to start that motion in our life. So we're talking about being the change tonight. And Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. But I really want to say, we don't hold ourselves, not all of us hold ourselves as light workers. We see light worker as, am I a coach? Am I a healer? Am I, a service provider? And I just want to hold the space for you to really like own your light and own the light worker that lives in you. Because if you are compelled and you feel really drawn to like shifting yourself and being on this journey of transformation, you cannot help but change the world and create ripple effects in your life as we do it. There's no separation between, changing yourself and changing your world, the world, and really touching, as I like to say, the corners of the universe with the light that you are. If you're setting out to transform yourself, I really want to hold space for that and help you step into a bigger calling. So when I was stepping into my light worker as a coach, like I've been coaching for about 24 years, and I was counseling at the time, and I was juggling all these balls, and I was having infants in my lap and all the things, but I was so called to do light work, as we said. But I would meet with my clients, and they would be in all professions, all walks of life, and I'd be like, you're a light worker. You are absolutely a light worker. So there are some of us that are called to teach, and there are some of us that are called to hold space, and there are some of us that are called to shift ourselves so powerfully that we do create change. But I really want to have you look at like all the ways that you wish to heal yourself, all the ways that you wish to heal your own life, all the ways that you wish to heal this planet, all the ways that you wish that you could impact this world. And I want you to own for a moment, like, what would it be like to just say, I'm a light worker? What would happen if I shifted my own frequency? What would happen if I shifted my own energy? What would happen if I showed up differently? And we're going to talk about these energies in a moment. But what would happen if I went there? So I am a synchronicity junkie, and I have this like story to tell you guys. It was a ton of magic happened recently, and as you guys know, Tim and I are getting married in September, and I don't know that I've said the date. He's right there in the other room. I don't know if I've actually said the date, but we're getting married in September, and my dad is making us an amazing desk for our office here, and I'm sitting at my grandmother's very old antique desk right now, but he's making us this amazing desk. And of course, as synchronicity would have it, my dad called me with one of the best synchronicities that I had heard in a while. Now, my life is filled with them. I really do lead a quantum, synchronistic life. But I'm driving down the road after dropping my daughter off at college, and he said, you're not going to believe this. I was working on your desk for your wedding gift, which, by the way, we're getting early. He said, I was working on your desk, and a butterfly flew through the garage and landed right where we were working. And he has sent me a picture of this painted, I think it's called a painted butterfly, painted lady butterfly maybe. And here's the kicker. It's like, I've manifested butterflies for years. I've manifested transformation for years. I've manifested transformation with you guys for years and years. But it was like the synchronistic moment really made me like stop in my tracks, because here in the middle of winter in my dad's heated garage of 40 degrees, we had this butterfly survive the entire fall, the entire winter, all the way to the end of February in his very chilly garage in the middle of Wisconsin. A butterfly flew through the air in front of him and landed not far from the desk that we'll be working on together. 8 feet long and gorgeous. And so the change just keeps like dropping for me, the synchronicities and the nudges and the downloads, but sometimes the universe comes along and delivers you an amazing sign that you are indeed coming along the right path. So the week before that, I had birthed a new idea, which I want to share with you guys tonight, and which we are going to be starting in the near future. But I birthed a new project recently in my creative space, and it's called Metamorphosis 21-Day Challenge. And so I'm talking about it tonight because it was a magical unfolding, and I know that this is supposed to come out of me in a certain way, and I download what I'm supposed to be talking to you about and what I'm supposed to be teaching you, and I am definitely supposed to be walking you through the Metamorphosis 21-Day Challenge. So rewind, Metamorphosis 21-Day Challenge descends upon me, and if you're new to me, I'm known for programming in manifestation and personal transformation, and definitely manifestation in terms of butterflies. It's one of the ways that so many of you know me. I created the Butterfly Experiment. It's a sister program in the academy. But this new infusion came to me, and I was like, oh, I so love this idea. And 1 week later, butterflies are flying through my dad's garage. And even before that, I said to Tim, I think we need to manifest some butterflies, and focus on the butterflies. And it felt just amazing and really good. And so I'm here tonight to talk to you a little bit about what's coming, which is the Metamorphosis 21-Day Challenge. And I'm going to tell you, if you want to get on the wait list for that, let me know. We'll send you a link so that you can put yourself on the wait list. So just tell me right now, just type in hashtag Metamorphosis, and we'll get you over there so that you can get on the waiting list, because it's coming soon. And also, I want to talk to you about these energies tonight, because inside of Metamorphosis is going to be obviously a transformation for you. So last week I talked to you about, quite simply how to change. And tonight I really want to talk to you about how to be the change, but really not only own your light worker and show up powerfully for yourself, but powerfully for the world too. So for me, when I talk about metamorphosis, right, it's you think about a total transformation. But sometimes when we go to the total transformation, which is completely possible, we go, holy smokes, the metamorphosis would require the total breakdown of everything that I am. And I want to say the metamorphosis is really more of a birth of who you are. It's more of an awakening of who you are versus, the tearing down of all that you're not necessarily, and revealing who you are. So I want to share with you tonight just some energies. Gandhi said, I want to be the change that you want to see in the world. And what does that exactly mean, to be the change? So when we show up to this work, it's personal transformation meets manifesting. It's my personal transformation, my personal growth. The byproduct really is manifesting. Do I have manifesting tricks and techniques and fun things for you? Yes, but who do we work on? It's thyself, it's thy energy, it's you. And so I want to invite you to a metamorphosis gateway tonight. And I want you to start to consider energies, because it really dawns upon me as I was like connecting with my intuitiveness this morning and last night, and some of my guidance coming through, that it starts with some simple steps. Whether we're talking about a metamorphosis and being the change in your life or in the world, it starts with some simple energies. So the first one is the energy of decision. And I want to give you these questions. Sometimes we want to see a change, or sometimes we want to be a change, and sometimes we want to like have a change. But I've noticed so many times, and even in myself, I have to say to myself, have I really decided? So one of the things to ask yourself is like, if I'm going to embody and embrace the energy of metamorphosis in my life, if I'm going to embrace the energy of being this change and embracing the light worker that I am in my own life, what would that look like for me? Because we want it, but we don't necessarily stand in it. We crave it, but we don't let ourselves become it. And that's because there's this like piece in the middle that doesn't allow us to leap over the bridge, because it's scary to make that kind of change. So I have to just close that window, distraction. So I want you to look at your life, and maybe it's like something you want in yourself. Maybe it's something you want to become, and maybe it's something in your environment you want to change. Maybe it's the world, right? It's all the same. The question is, have I decided? And when I look at the power of decision, there is a like done deal precision that comes with decision. So have you decided? Have you decided on the thing? Have you said, that is happening. This is mine now. This is the vision now. Have I let myself go to the place where I've completely decided? And if I fall off of my like strongest decision, will I allow myself quite simply to redecide? Instead of getting frustrated, instead of saying I must be doing it wrong, instead of giving up, will I allow myself to simply decide, I'm a light worker in my own life, for myself, for this planet, and I'm standing in it. This is the change I wish to see, and I will decide. So feel into that, because it's really an energy that you hold, the power of decision. I'm willing to even do what it takes to clear the energy, to clear myself, to line up with what I desire. Have I made that decision? And so I want you to feel into the power of decision for just a minute, because it's a vibration. I always say, brave is a vibration, courage is a vibration, love is a vibration, decision is a vibration. And decision is like, here's my intent. Here's the change I wish to see in myself or in this world. I'm the light worker, and I will decide. And so if you powerfully decide, and let's just say the change you wish to see in the world is more love in your life or more abundance flowing. I always say we want 5 things: love, joy, purpose, health, and freedom. If I show up to that powerfully in decision, this is happening now, the done deal precisionness of that certainty. Am I willing to like feel into what that certainty would, how would it feel like to click into that? When you want to have ice cream for supper, and okay, we do ice cream supper sometimes just for fun, especially in the summer, and I say, guys, I've decided it's ice cream supper. There is like a done deal precision in the creation of that event, and I don't have any resistance in it. But I can bring that same energy to the abundance I want to create. Feel me? I can bring that same energy to the love that I want in my life. With done deal precision, I am manifesting now, in this very moment, that which I desire. I wish to be the change. And I'm going to line up with that right now. So a lot of times we just haven't really decided, we haven't really truly decided, I will create, I will manifest, I will shift. I am done with this particular energy. Okay, so I want you to feel into that, what it would be like to take something so simple. It's ice cream for supper tonight. Done deal, decision, precision. And transfer that over into the thing that you wish to see in your world, into the thing that you wish to see in the world. So tell me if this resonates. We are talking about, we are all light workers. If you're just joining me, we are talking about, we are all light workers and how to be the change you wish to see in the world and in your world, how we show up to that, and 3 different energies that I want to share with you, that gateway and open that door. And I also want to share with you that we're going to be bringing the Metamorphosis Challenge to you soon. And if you want to get on the Metamorphosis wait list, hashtag Metamorphosis, thank you, I see you, a couple of you, and we'll drop you the link so you can get on that wait list. So, so if you want to have like that level of change, I'm just going to ask you to be really completely honest and transparent with yourself. Have I decided? Have I really decided? Have I really decided? And if you find yourself wavering and you have this sense where you haven't like really rooted into it, feel into a simple decision and see if you can transfer and overlay the energy of a simple decision, a simple manifestation, a simple change, a simple thing into something that feels maybe impossible to you. What would that feel like? How would you feel moved? Who would you have to be? How would you have to think to hold that decision? It's a total up level. Like, I've decided. I've decided. Whoa, I have decided. Let's decide. So what's the one thing, put it in the chat, tell me the one thing that you want to decide, the one thing, the one change you wish to see in the world or in yourself. You are the light worker. Tell me the one thing that you would like to decide on tonight. Simply just decide. What would that be like? Pretty empowering and sometimes pretty scary. But when you own it all and you look at it all and you're awake to it all and you really look at like, how can I empower myself in this decision? So I click into it, magic can happen. The universe can start delivering that to you because you're so clear and you're so decided. Done deal, precision, decision. Okay, feel me? Okay, number 2, the energy of commitment. So I'm splitting hairs here, right? But just like decision, like I'm doing that. Commitment is like another slice of that blade of grass. Commitment is like, I am creating that. I've decided to go the distance. So you feel that? So this decision is like this clear cut, right? Precision, done, no question. Commitment is this go the distance energy in that. Am I willing to go the distance? So I want to ask you to ask yourself the same way, have I committed? And that is, have I committed to the transformation? Have I committed to the change I want to see in myself or in my life or in the world? Have I committed? Because there is an energy of commitment that is powerful and that is pure and that is high vibe, that is inviting, that is empowering, that is exciting, that is hopeful if you want it to be. Sometimes people say, yeah, I had to commit. I had to commit to that. And they go, it's a down spiral. So this isn't commitment anchor to something you don't want to do. This is commitment to my dream, to my vision, to my change, to my transformation, to my metamorphosis. That's the commitment. Have I committed to my metamorphosis? Am I willing to be committed to my deep metamorphosis so I can be the change that I want to create in my world, and be the change that I want to see in this world. So have I committed? And one of the things that I like to say as a light worker and as a healer as well, but I like to have this this flexibility and this commitment, because what I see is people going like, I make my commitment and then I fall off my commitment, and then I beat myself up for my commitment that I didn't keep to myself. And I want to remind you that it's like, it's okay. Meet yourself where you're at. It's literally, have I committed, and am I willing to be committing moment to moment if need be? And I'd say the same about decision. Am I willing to decide, done deal, precision decision, and redecide if I need to? Redecide if I need to establish the frequency of that decision, which is like really, and I talk a lot about being unwavering, right? If we travel back a few sessions, it's like, am I willing to be there unwaveringly? So ask yourself those questions too. Am I willing to be committed to my vision, to my life, to my dream, to my manifestation, to becoming who it is I want to become? Am I willing to commit to the butterfly wings that I want to strap on my back so that I can take the leap and live the life that I really want to? Am I willing to be committed to that moment to moment if need be? Recommitment if need be, redecision if need be. Am I willing to be there? So what I know about change, right, is that if we want to create true change, it's like, and not the stay the sameness. True change requires a forward motion. True change requires decision and commitment, but also this like forward motion. And I want to talk about that in a second too, but it's like this choice to move energy. So number 3, I want to ask you this question, and I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you willing to, have I been willing to show up? Because when we're willing to show up, what does that mean? That means that I'm willing to be present. I'm willing to take action on the change that I want to see in myself or in the world. It means that I'm willing to show up and be the light that I am as light worker with butterfly wings on her back. So what would that be? How would you show up? And yes to taking action, but it could be, am I showing up in my belief? Am I showing up in my my thought process? Am I showing up consistently in my self-care practices, my self-love practices? Am I showing up consistently to the mission and the purpose and the light work as is defined for me that I've been like called to do? So sometimes as a light worker, literally, I get weary, and there are times when I have to say, be the change you wish to see. And so I have to do the light work with myself, show up for myself first, and then I can show up for others, you know? So have I, and am I willing to show up? There's a show upness energetically when I decide to show up that feels how? I am going to show up today for myself, for my vision, for the change. I'm going to show up, you know, and when we're in that kind of like conviction and determination, and when we're, you know, sometimes feeling weary, you know, sometimes it's hard to show up. Sometimes I have to say showing up for me looks like not showing up for the rest of the world and giving myself a pause, and that's okay. Sometimes, and I have to weigh that, you know, sometimes showing up for me looks like doing the thing that I didn't think I could and doing it kind of anyway, even when I think it's hard and my ego is chattering and my mind is like saying, you know what, you can't do that. You know, my mind likes to say, there's not enough of you to go around, right? That seems to be some of my chatter. But when I decide to show up and I stay committed to the show up and I commit to that ever moment to moment metamorphosis that's going on behind the scenes, you know, I really cultivate the change. And what I know is, how did the M100 get its name? It's because we walked through these doors 8 years ago. And if you're new, there's a story here. But I had you walk through these doors and say, I'm going to commit to my journey for 100 days. And it was about 100 days of intentional creation. And so I would get up every morning and I'd say to you guys, tell me something amazing, tell me something good. And we're gonna like commit to this practice. We're gonna go show up to ourselves. We're gonna show up to the world. We're gonna show up and do the light work. We're gonna show up for the change. And guess what happened? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 60, 70, 80, day 99, day 100. All of a sudden, I was going live how many times on day 101 back in the day? And we do it a little different today. Lori goes live on Mondays, I guess sometimes Tuesdays. But we would look at 100 days being the change for ourselves, for our lives. And all of a sudden at the end of the day, we're like, oh my gosh, transformation has begun. Transformation has happened. Transformation actually has occurred. So much has changed. So much has moved. And and I bring it back to, like, I can teach you guys how to manifest. I've got all the tools in the toolbox, but the gateways that I bring you here on the live streams, really seed that work, because you have to show up to yourself. You've got to be in the commitment. You got to be in the decision. And I have to bring you to those energies so that you can grab onto them, feel empowered and inspired and uplifted, and know that if I show up to this for 21 days, let's take the 100 out of the equation right now. We've got the Metamorphosis 21-day challenge coming for some of you who are going to love this. Whether it's 21 days or whether it's 30 days, and I have oftentimes my women that I work with say, at the 30-day mark, I felt this massive change. And at the 60-day mark, and then at the 100-day mark, and it keeps unfolding. And that's because there is a decision that's made, a vision that's held, a change that is desired, an unfolding that happens, and a commitment that you stand in moment to moment, on and off if you need it, but you come back to it, and a consistency and a willingness to continue to show up even when it's hard some days, and relax sometimes into, a pause if you need to. But it's like these energies open the gateways to the bigger transformation. They open the gateways to the bigger metamorphosis. So when I think of change, sometimes we resist it. And I want you to ask yourself the question, am I actually resisting change? I think I talked about this last time. But I want you to take a look at what does change mean for me? What would happen if I got everything that I desired? What would happen if life started to crack open? I talk to women all the time that say, I just started this work, and all of a sudden the floodgates are kind of opening for me. So a lot of times we're really afraid of that. And I want you to ask yourself, am I actually afraid of that change? I want it so bad, and I want to be the change, and I want to make the decision, and I want to be in the commitment, and I want to show up powerfully. But I find that there's something holding me back from that. What is that for you? Do you find yourself feeling afraid of what? And so I always say, the darkness will show itself. The challenge will show itself. The struggles will show themselves so that they can be cleared. So there is so much awakening in your awareness, and you're awakening to look at these energies and be like, what is my sticking point around this? So if you feel like you're I have not decided. In fact, indecision appears to be a really safe place for me. Wow, let's take a look at that. Because if you're not going to where you want to go, there's some tweaks to be done. If you find yourself saying, I don't really commit, and what is up with that? Let's unpack that and take a look at What's going on for you that you're not committed to either yourself or the vision or the change? What is it in you that keeps you spinning kind of, I guess it's kind of like hamster wheel, but it's kind of on that cycle of same. Because when you focus on the same, and instead of decision, you're focused on your indecision. Instead of your commitment and going forth with the commitments, you're focused on the lack of my commitment, or not showing up, or all the things I'm not doing. It keeps you here in a cycle of self-depreciation, that doesn't help you move forward to said metamorphosis, to said change, to said vision, to said changing the world or your own self. You know what I'm saying? So feel me on this. Like, these are energies to embrace and energies to activate. If you wanted to, you could say, I'm going to decide right now to make my business a massive success yet this year. I'm going to decide that right now with done deal precision. With done deal precision, it's done. I have decided, and I will commit moment to moment if need be. I will redecide if I need to, and I'm going to continue to show up in my thought, in my emotion, in my transformation, in the metamorphosis. Like, what would happen if you just started with those three energies? Those three energies would start moving you powerfully just in leaning into them. So I'm a huge frequency girl. I am a huge energy person, and I can have you just literally lean into the energy of decision for a minute. Feel it. What does it feel like to you? And we can lean into the energy of indecision. Decision is pointed. It tells the universe, this is what I desire. This is what I want it to look like. This is done deal. No exceptions. Let's go. The universe is like, I'm clear. There's so much power in your clarity. Indecision, what does that look and feel like? That looks like cloudy and foggy and all over. And can things be delivered to you magically? Yes, especially if you're in alignment with the things that we talk about here. Yes, you don't have to be perfectly clear, but there is power in it. So when I started my coaching practice, I literally, I've coached for 24 years, and I literally started, and something inside of me said, this is happening. One thing you will never see me waver on is this happening or not? Is this if it works? No, it's working. This isn't maybe, this is done deal precision, whatever it takes. And sometimes it's a massive shift in myself to up-level my own thinking and get out of my own noise and get out of my own friction. And sometimes it's a major action that I have been terrified to do for years. So we're in it, we're human, we're supposed to be. But when I started that practice, there was not 1 ounce of me that had not decided. I decided, and it became. And I, with wings on my back, went and did the work, the light work. Changed myself, I changed the world, I changed the vision, I ebb and flow, I embrace this, and I consistently show up to some of these principles. I mean, there are many that I could talk to you about tonight, but these are some of the 3 that really showed up on the scene for me that I really wanted to dive into, because we don't decide. It's so simple. Sometimes it's just so simple. Have I decided? Decision moves you. Commitment, hopeful commitment that is moment to moment, up spiral for the long haul of your dreams, of your desires, of the world's dreams and desires that you have for the world. That is the light work. So you might have never thought of decision as light work, but it is. You've maybe never thought of commitment as light work, but it is. And maybe never thought that just powerfully showing up for yourself was light work, but it is. Because you do, when you change yourself, You be the change that you wish to see in this world. But really what happens is you change yourself. You become the you that you were born to be. And it's from that, there's this massive ripple effect of wonderful change that goes out into this universe, butterfly effect, all the way. And metamorphosis on the other side of that. So on another note, tell me if this was helpful. Anyway, that would be #ready if you want to request a conversation or a consultation or a conversation just with me to really take a look at what is going on for you and how we can help. So I hope that was helpful, you guys. And #ready if you want to request a sweet conversation with me to take a look at how we can move you forward. So I hope you are well. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me live here tonight. I will see you next week on Monday. Bye for now.